New wilderness flash events and mini quests. So, there's going to be more to do in the wilderness in this autumn. Not just combat, we're expanding wilderness skilling with new events spawning regularly to get your XP up. Plus, we're throwing in some new combat encounters and improved rare drop rates for some existing bosses. How many bosses, like, I assume existing bosses in the wilderness. How many bosses are there in the wilderness? Isn't it just 2? King Black Dragon, Chaos, Elemental. Is Corp? We'll see. On top of that, we've got 3 new mini quests arriving to bridge the gap between Daughter of Chaos and the final quest of the year. I'm pretty excited for the quests. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking forward to the quests. Coming October 17th, 3 new mini quests. Wait, are they going to be released at the same time? 3 new mini quests will be released in this lead up to the Daughter of Chaos finale, and they'll take you deep into the wilderness. We're keeping the details under wraps for now, but you'll need to complete these mini quests to unlock the 3rd, 4th, and 5th upgrade to the Infernal Puzzle Box, respectively. To get started, head to Adreste in Falador and find out how you can help. The 1st and 2nd mini quest will be released alongside the Wilderness Flash events system on October 17th, while the 3rd and final mini quest will launch a little later in this year. Okay. All right. Infernal Puzzle Box Tier 3 Wilderness Refresh. Adrenaline will not drain outside combat. Wait, don't we already have this? Players who already have unlocked this will not lose access to it. Infernal Puzzle Box Tier 4. Wilderness Flash Events. Brawling Gloves will give 25% extra XP. 25%, I assume additive, right? And if it's additive, that's not much of an increase in the scheme. Like, it's... How much is it? It'd be 1/16th? 1/60, like, maximum a 1/16th. It's probably like a 5% increase. This is probably like overall a 5% increase. Right? I mean, I guess it's like 5% increase on top of existing rates, right? Obviously, this is just a 25% additive increase, though. But like including everything, it'd be around 5%, right? So Wilderness Flash Events. The Wilderness has just had a refresh, and so far, it's been entirely combat and Slayer focused, so we've added a new system to give a variety of short-term encounters across a range of different skills. This should open up the wilderness up for other players so we can all enjoy the wilderness together. Okay, what do these involve? That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, it'd be cool to have like a rotation kind of thing. Like a rotation of events that you go to and do. But we'll have to see how engaging, fun, or worthwhile they are. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. The Zamorakian Civil War rages on, and the wilderness is plagued by monstrous creatures from Daemonheim. That means new combat encounters galore. Wilderness is plagued by monstrous creatures from Daemonheim? What creatures exist in Daemonheim exclusively to this day? Floor sellers? Okay. On top of that, both sides of the Demons versus Daemonheim conflict need supply runners, so you have loads of new training opportunities as you gather resources from short-lived skilling nodes. Forgotten Warriors, Rangers, and Mages. Oh, right. The Forgotten Warriors, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait. Do you ever fight Ramikis? Could be the bosses? Ooh, that would be interesting. Do you ever fight... Oh, yeah, the Ramikis in the Monolith, right? I don't care for new monsters, new Slayer monsters, new skilling plots, new skilling nodes, new skilling events, new skilling content, unless it's fun and engaging and unique. Like, if it's just gonna be a tank and smack, if it's just gonna be a click and AFK for like monsters and skilling respectively, I just rather them just not even do it. I feel like the quantity and quality of updates that RuneScape puts out is really good. Especially the quantity. The quantity is well above norm, especially for an MMO. But I feel like the public, I say I feel a lot because like obviously I don't know objectively, right? I'm not going to pretend like I do. But like I feel like a lot of time, a lot of people within the community always complain about the lack of content. So I feel like JX are therefore forced to constantly release updates even if it's like not very unique or engaging or fun. AKA this. I'm hoping, like, I don't care for skilling activities if it's not fun. Like, just give me a skilling content like twice a year, but give me big game hunter every time, you know? Give me slayer mobs once a year, but give me elite slayer mobs like Ripper Demons, Archeon Mammoths, Living Wyverns, and Camel Warriors. I like Camel Warriors. I know a lot of people don't like Camel Warriors, and I understand why they don't like them. Do people not like Camel Warriors is because of the weight of the spawning of the Mirage camels? Is that why people don't like Camel Warriors? Because you can't AFK them? I don't think that's unrewarding. Yeah, actually they are very unrewarding, right? They are. They're really bad XP, if I remember correctly. They're really... I don't know why. Why are they so bad XP? Like, I remember them being like, not just bad, but like really bad. I remember when like Slayer was like 800k an hour and Camel Warriors were like 200k or some shit, like optimally. The new events will run on a set schedule. The encounter type and location will be decided by the system. All events are members only. Players should start by visiting hosts in Edgeville, Nickel, and the Wandering Ramaki near the Wilderness Wall. Ooh, Wandering Ramaki. That suggests that the new monsters are probably going to be Ramakis, right? It's probably going to be like a Ramaki being like, hey, can you kill these rogue Ramaki that are just, you know, running wild? It's probably going to be something like that, right? Each event will have a win condition which scales with the number of players involved. Ooh, that's interesting, okay? There will also be a time limit that acts as a failure condition. Interesting. This is very much like events in other MMOs, by the way. Other events in MMOs work exactly like this. They scale based on players engaging with the event, and they also have like a timer. Well, I mean, if it's a set system and it's a set cycle and needs a time, I don't see this as necessarily being bad. Many of these encounters will have fairly simple gameplay. We don't want to overload you, especially when you'll be taking the new wilderness threat system into consideration. What threat system? Completing events will increase your threat level. I'm just gonna say it. Remove the threat system. I think they should just make it so like, oh, we've banished Zamorak. I mean, it's kind of too late for this like law change, but basically what I would have suggested would be like, we've banished Zamorak and now the wilderness is now like completely safe. Like, I think the threat system just doesn't work. And I think that if they overtune it, it will punish skillers way more than, like, PVMers, right? I don't know how they'd work around that. Like, I think it's fine if the wilderness becomes, like, a safe place. Like, I think it's fine if the wilderness just... I don't know. It's just like, are there any downsides other than tradition? Are there any downsides in the wilderness becoming a safe place other than tradition? I think what they're trying to do is just not realistically applicable. Completing events will increase your threat level, so you might not want to hang around long afterwards. Yeah. The new system also adds combat encounters with King Black Dragon and brings lots of Daemonheim nasties to play. None of these events have a quest or skill requirement, but combat levels will not be scaled, so tread carefully. You'll get a notification 5 minutes before an encounter spawns. Just hop over the wall and get to the location and complete the job. There will be 4 encounter types: general skilling, resource gathering, special skilling, new shooting star and evil tree variants, general combat, killing NPC mobs, and special combat, new mini boss encounter with why does it keep mentioning King Black Dragon? Are we meant to be like excited and scared? Ooh, King Black Dragon. Ooh, shit, boys. He's come out to play. Encounters can be tackled in groups and will scale to the number of players involved. If you win an encounter, you'll get rewards. Okay. I'm just hoping for this to be a interactive and fun event. If it's just a tank and spank, and if it's just a click and AFK, you know, yeah. No, I'm not going to go through that again. Now your threat level is up. Now your threat level is up. You can choose to leave the wilderness, resetting your threat level, or risk staying longer if you're feeling bold. Are you up to speed? Okay, whatever. So they recently changed threat level, right? Is it easy to deal with? Can anyone engage in the wilderness like a lot and recently? Can anyone tell me? Like, how is the threat level when doing like Slayer, for example, in the wilderness? Is it inconvenient? Is it dangerous? Like, is it a non-issue? Is there a way to just like bypass it completely? It may spawn like 10 rippers and 5 mammoths. What? Wait, what's the worst spawn that you can get? Okay. So basically you just gotta pray to Iron Jesus. Wait, do the mammoths don't do specs, right? Because the Ripper demons don't do specs, I believe, right? I might be wrong. Wait, do the mammoths actually spec? Oh my god. Wait, what the fuck? If you get more than one... Wait, if you get more than one mammoth, it's fucked. Unless you're in melee... Because if you don't know, basically, if you don't melee distance mammoths, they get fucking pissed. They become anger. They become very angry. And they will fuck your shit up. They like disable your prey, throw ice cubes at you, deal ridiculous damage. It's just, yeah. I didn't know that's gotta be an oversight, surely. That's gotta be an oversight, cause like, if they disabled Ripper Demon specs, then surely they intended to disable Mammoth specs as well, right? Because arguably, like, Mammoth specs are even worse than Ripper Demon specs. In that case. Oh, Ripper Demons can still spec the ones that spawn? Well, I think Ripper spec being disabled is a bug. Oh, okay, interesting. Mammoths don't aggro for whatever reason unless they fix that. Oh, so you're saying if mammoths spawn from the threat, they don't aggro on you instantly? Maybe that's intent. I don't know. Unless they change that, like you said. I don't know. Anyways. Rewards. Wilderness Puzzle Box Upgrade. Boost to Brawling Gloves. Increase XP boost in and outside the wilderness. So this is a 25% increased XP boost. But is it an increase or is it additive? Is it 25% increase of the already existing boost, or is it just an additive 25%? Guess we'll have to see. Extra loot chances. Special events, Evil Tree, Infernal Star, and King Black. Man, every time they mention King Black Dragon, I'm sorry, I can't take the king seriously. Come on. Holy shit, KBD! Did we mention KBD? Hey, did we mention, guys, did we mention that KBD is gonna be here? Yes, you did already 3 times. Give out an extra reward bag that can contain Draconic Visage! Dragon Rider boots, gloves, completing their KBD! They got so tired of writing out KBD that they... Completing the KBD encounter gives a chance at Last Riders and Pet. The chance for Last Riders is significantly improved, but not for Pet, it seems. Obelisk shards and portable obelisks. A single-use teleport that takes players to a random wilderness obelisk. If the player has the hard wilderness task unlocked, you'll be able to choose which obelisk. I guess that's not a bad reward. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? Because, yeah. Because, like, if you have the sword, then you can just, like, teleport to the lodestone and it's right there. It's not much of a time save. XP for completing events. XP during the events will be token. But if a player wins the encounter, they get a dollop of XP scaled to the appropriate level and contribution. Interesting. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. So it's like a competition. So XP during the event is like... it means like you'll be getting, like, as you're like harvesting the tree, you'll be getting 1 XP, 1 XP, 1 XP, I think. That's usually what token XP refers to. But it says, but if a player wins the encounter. So what happens to, like, second place? Do they get, like, no XP? I mean, I assume, I'm sure people get XP. They get a dollop of XP scaled to the, oh, it says, okay, I think it means if players win the encounter. I think I misunderstood this. I don't think it's saying, like, if a player wins the encounter, as in, like, one person can contribute more than everyone else and they win. I think it's just, if players win the encounter, they get a dollop of XP scaled to the appropriate level and contribution. Right? Okay. I think so. Obsidian Palm Stone. Stackable inventory, that item that prevents wilderness threat level from increasing after killing things or completing events. Alchemical Onyx Enchantments. A dark onyx core will drop from special encounters that can be used to create 3 enchantments, 1 for each alchemical onyx item. These will be tradable. Okay, I'm just going to say one thing before we go further. I like building on an item, but I think that build should be untradeable. So I like the idea of being able to just purchase a base level item, but I think if you want to build on it, it should be untradeable. I think you should have to earn that, because then you get to, like, you get to be able to buy into the base level item, but then you have to, like, kind of build it yourself. You know, you have to, like, add onto it yourself. I don't think everything needs to be tradable. So what you're saying is that you want to be an iron. No, irons have to get everything themselves. I'm saying, like, for example, the components of making it could be tradable, but, like, actually making it should be untradeable. I think Blessed Flask is a good example of that, right? Components of it are tradable, but you have to make it yourself. Like, not everything needs to revolve around being repeatable for money, right? Some things could just be a one-done kind of thing, and I think that would be fine. I'd say even better. Grace of the Elves, Dark Facet of Grace. Further reduce skill prayer drain. Hold more porter stacks. Okay, well, reducing the prayer drain is not that big of a deal unless it works. It probably does work with the imp perk, right? The imp perk that banks items for the cost of prayer. If that works with that, then it can be useful. And hold more porter stacks. Basically, it's a portable kind of it's a porter kind of buff, mainly probably for archaeology, mainly benefiting archaeology. Luck of the dwarfs, dark facet of luck. Now, before I continue, I'm gonna have to ask all cluers to sit down because you're gonna need to. Okay, you're gonna have to stay calm and just stay seated. Okay, we're gonna keep this civil. So, dark facet of luck. Why are you guys standing? Okay. Chance to skip a clue step. Chance to get double reward caskets. Useful clue teleport to the dwarven outpost. What is that one? Useful clue teleport to the dwarven outpost? What is the dwarven outpost? But yeah, the first two parts are pretty massive. However, it comes down to the chance, okay? Let's be honest. This isn't broken if it's like a 1% chance for each, okay? It all comes down to the chance of it proccing. I mean, you could argue that regardless that this is even a thing to begin with is bad because it could set a bad precedent and it could be built on. But I personally don't care that much. However, I will say that I used to care about devaluation a lot. Like I was very obsessed with devaluation, right? However, there was a point, I don't know what cracked me, but there was a point where I just stopped caring. However, even so, I would say that just a direct and linear devaluation of something is not good unless you're introducing something fun or engaging, right? Unless you're introducing something new and unique. Like, for example, the devaluation of killing X boss is not bad because of power creep, because it usually introduces something new, unique, engaging, and fun, right? Like Bow of the Last Guardian, right? Essentially, I mean, like essentially devalue the amount of damage you could do as a ranger, right? However, they did it in a fun way, right? So like that's a good form of like devaluation in my opinion. But a devaluation in the sense of just like, for example, like we'll use PVM as another example, right? Devaluation in the sense of like, hey, by doing this simple task, you do 20% more damage now. Is that a good thing? No, in my opinion. And not only, and I would say this is even worse than just a linear increase, because this is actually just removing a part of the content, right? Potentially. Instead of like something like chance to skip a clue step, I think they should like somehow enhance or make the clue steps more fun, right? Like, let's say, oh, people don't like the amount of clue steps. People don't like some of the clue steps. People are using Alt 1 for some of the clue steps, right? I think instead of being like, hey, we're just going to give you a chance to skip it so it's less tedious, right? It's less monotonous. They should look at like, hey, why do people think this? Why do people not enjoy some of these clue steps? Maybe we should change some of these clue steps. Maybe we should give something that enhances or makes some of these clue steps more fun and enjoyable, right? Instead of just being like, hey, you have a chance to skip it. Like, I don't think, like, if there's a problem with a piece of content or with a piece of system or mechanic, you shouldn't add a piece of reward that just skips it. You know, you should fix the problem. You shouldn't make it so, oh, you don't like this? Well, you can work for a reward that just skips it. It's like, but that doesn't really solve the problem, right? People are still experiencing this problem because they don't have this reward. And why does, I mean, if it's such a trivial problem, then just remove it at that point instead of having to force us to go through a process to gain a piece of reward to be able to skip it, right? Like, for example, I would argue like something like the Carapax stun mechanic, right? Why does it even exist? Why do you need to get a ring to be able to skip it if it's not seen as like a very good mechanic? Or if it's seen as a good mechanic in your opinion, then, you know, the other way around, right? Like, another example would be like the puzzle box giving you passive adren, like preventing adren drain, right? Why is that a reward slot? Why can't that just be just part of the base game? Why isn't that just, you know, like, not everything needs to be a reward slot is what I'm trying to say. You know, not everything needs to be a reward slot. The fix should never be to skip X, 100%. Zami Elite Dungeon, skip anyone? I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think you should have to do the Zami Dungeon once and then you can skip it. I think Zami Dungeon was really fun. It, you know, the fun of it, like the fun of like exploring, discovering and experiencing everything for the first time was really fun, like enjoyable. But after like the second and third time, the fun per hour went super downhill. And it went so far to negative measures. I don't think anyone, or I don't think the majority of people will say that they continue to have fun doing the Elite Dungeon past 3KC. I don't think so. So why is that a barrier of entry to a boss that is really, really fun? Why are you... Because I would love for people to be able to experience Zami. I think Zami is a fun boss. I think Zami is a really fun boss to like get together with a bunch of friends and just try out. But like, I can't bring myself to recommend Zami because they have to go through the dungeon every time. I just can't. I can't do it, you know? New achievements. Let's move on. New achievements. Found in a new section in the activities category, Wilderness Flash Events. There are 2 new achievements for this update. Walk on the Wildy side. Tracks the number of events completed by the player. Tier 1 required for puzzle box reward along with Civil War mini quest. Tier 3 required for trim completion escape. I'm not a fan of achievements that are just like do X a number, like do this content X number of times. I think those achievements are lazy and usually measured to the extent of it being unfun. You know, I like unique achievements. I think JX's philosophy on this, where it comes across as them focusing on engagement rates, player retention, and concurrent players, is really unhealthy for the existing player base. They should just look at like fun per hour. But again, I'm not going to go too much into this again because I've spoken on this. Far-reaching and wild-ranging tracks completion of specific events required for completion and teleport from host's reward. Required for completion and teleport from host's reward. What does that mean? Only last event in a chain is required for the chain. I have no idea what this means. Am I meant to? Or am I meant to continue reading? Yeah, I think achievements should just be unique and fun, you know? And challenging, right? I still think Mazcap Raids was such a good piece of content as a PVM, as a standalone PVM content, especially as their first attempt of a raid. And the feats of Mazcap Raids were really fun to do. I think Mazcap Raids is like such a like prime piece of content. And I can't believe that they basically discarded all of its like entities, right? I actually can't believe it. Like I thought Mazcap Raids was such a good piece of content just across the board and had such good features, but then they just didn't replicate any of them for future content. But hey, you know, kind of curious why. So the events. So what's happening? Here's the full list and what you'll have to do for those rewards. So event type, event name, game loop. Wow, there's quite a lot. What the fuck? Alright, general skilling, surprise seedlings. Mutated flower seedling spawns on the ground. Water them until they've fully grown. Harvest the fully grown flowers. Some will be poisonous and deal damage when interacted. Okay. General skilling, butterfly swarm. A flock of butterflies spawn. Catch the non-dangerous ones and avoid the dangerous ones. If you catch dangerous ones, they'll sting you, dealing poison damage. Okay. General skilling, displaced energy. Gather displaced energy. Okay. General skilling, unnatural outcrop. A corrupted ore outcrop spawns, mine it to deplete it. General skilling, lost souls. Gather ectoplasm from ghosts. You can also kill graveside phantoms to gain ectoplasm. Okay. Special skilling, evil bloodwood tree. Feed. Nurture the evil tree sapling. Harvest bones from nearby skeletons. Crush them and feed them to the tree. Chop. The tree roots attack nearby players. Time to chop it down. Burn. The tree dies. Set it on fire to properly destroy it. Keep the bonfire burning until the remains are fully destroyed. Sounds very much like evil trees, but like a few twists for each step. Special skilling, infernal star, mine. Get to the center of the fallen star. If the center of the star isn't reached by the end of the event, it despawns and the linked event doesn't start. Infernal star, fight. An aggressive swarm of pyre fiends emerges from the center of the star. Okay, and that's it? You just kill the pyre fiends, I guess? I hope this isn't a tagging system. I will say this. I hope the contribution system is done correctly. And for it to have be done correctly, it needs to be like based on damage. Damage of like skilling or combat, right? It shouldn't be like a tag based system. Like it shouldn't be like you have to tag all pyre fiends to gain maximum contribution. It should just be like your overall damage. Because the thing is, when that happens, people are mostly like panicking and thinking about tagging everything rather than actually dealing damage and completing the event. So it should be a damage based contribution. Please. Damage based contribution, not a tag based contribution. I think everyone agrees on this, right? General combat, Ramaki Incursion. A mob of Ramaki, Deathslingers, Blood Ragers, and Stormbringers spawn somewhere in the wilderness. Ooh, that sounds kind of scary. I remember being traumatized by the Ramaki room in DG. That shit used to do so much damage. What was the order you would kill them in? You would kill the healer that was ranging. What was the second? I remember you killed the melee last. You kill the healer first, right? Anyways, general combat, Spider Swarm, a mob of spiders mixed type spawn. General combat, Hellhound Pack, a mob of Hellhounds spawn. Okay. General combat, Demon Stragglers, a mob of demons spawn somewhere in the wilderness. Okay. Special combat, King Black Dragon Rampage. The KBD is infuriated by the disturbances in the wilderness and needs to be defeated. Who's hyped? Who's hyped? I think this would be much more interesting if it was some like major demon with like lore backing it up. Day 1 schedule, launch day is October 17th. The schedule from 11 game time is planned as follows. Oh shit. Imagine if it was Yikligor. Yeah, I mean anyone but KBD. KBD is, the only thing KBD has is nostalgia. I don't know how many people are actually driven by nostalgia and excited by this, but I think it'd be much more exciting if it was like a new entity with like intriguing lore backing it up. And it would make sense that it would be a demon because the demons are currently ravaging the wilderness, right? After this point, the schedule repeats. So what do you think? Will you be skilling yourself silly, spoiling for a fight, or both? I'm surprised they didn't mention KBD here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't mention him for the 9th time. See you down at the wilderness. Alright, well, I will say one thing. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited for the mini quests. I'm looking forward to the mini quests. I am really looking forward to the mini quests. I'm intrigued by Demon Lore and the Infernus. So I'm kind of excited to see how they're going to expand on that. The events, I feel like there's no way they made this many events and made any of them like very engaging and fun. Maybe. I'm not gonna say either way at the moment because obviously I've not experienced them firsthand. But yeah, the dark facet of luck is pretty interesting though. We'll have to see what the rates are, what the chances of skipping a clue step are, what the chances of getting double reward caskets are. I really hope the achievements are fun and not just do 1,000 events. Do 5,000 events. Like that's an achievement. Don't make those types of don't make those types of achievements, please. Just make the like fun ones. Like do X without failing once. Do X like get max contribution for X. Like I don't know, like do something funny with this tool and this stuff like that are fun to do. Do you guys remember has anyone done the 200 city quests in Miniquests? Wasn't that poggers? Didn't you guys have fun? But yeah, anyways, I think that's pretty much it with this news post. Again, I'm looking forward to the mini quests. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm looking forward to the mini quests. I think they're gonna be good.